G'day ice cream lovers, Steve Christensen here, the self-appointed headmaster of Scoop School. I can't tell you how nice it is to spend just these 5 to 8 minutes with you every day. It means a lot to me, the relationship that we have. Let's keep it going. Smash like now, hit subscribe, you'll get a little bit of a ding in your inbox to tell you whenever I'm here for a chat. Today's chat today is actually sponsored by Frozen Solutions. Mitch Kleinman out there on the West Coast, constantly pumping out great products to help you accentuate your ice cream business. Color-changing spoons, color-changing straws, color-changing bowls, biodegradable products, green products, cups, lids. It's all happening out there at Frozen Solutions. So have a look at the link down below, frozensolutions.com. And again, Mitch and all of our other sponsors allow us to be able to provide this free content to you every day. So we really would appreciate you supporting them, because they are the people. They're the unsung heroes of the ice cream business, in my view. Okay, let's talk about what percentage of your gross income your rent should be. I think in a lot of times those in the ice cream business assume that this is common knowledge. I think that looking at a food cost and a labor cost of 30% or lower is general industry standard, and a lot of people know that. I'll put a link below about food costs and labor costs because I think that's important to know. But not a lot of people know where your rent percentage should sit and how you can basically get that lower. So let's talk specifically about what gross sales are. So gross sales are basically the sales that you have that come over the counter, through your register, through your POS system, before you pay anything out. So at the end of the day, if you've done $1,200 in sales, they call that gross revenue. You haven't started paying your employees, your suppliers, your rent, your utilities, your loan, your lease. That is just gross revenue, and you take that gross revenue and then you start cutting it up and paying all of the different people and the vendors and suppliers that you have. Well, for a lot of us, we pay rent, and that rent should fall within a certain percentage of that gross revenue. The general industry standard in the ice cream industry is somewhere between 10 and 15% of your gross revenue. So basically what that means is if you are getting in a month, let's say you're pulling in sales $10,000 a month. So just to make the math easy. So 10% or 15% of $10,000 is $1,000 or $1,500. So if I'm getting $10,000 in gross revenue, my rent should be somewhere in that $1,000 to $1,500 percentage range. Now, again, it's different for everyone all over the country, and we have a lot of international people that watch these videos. It's easier to talk about the percentage than it is the dollar amount. So regardless of where you are, the percentage should be the same. So you calculate what your gross revenue is, and as a percentage of that, your rent should be somewhere between 10 and 15%. Now, obviously, the lower you get in that rent percentage, the more revenue you have for yourself and paying other bills. So the plan is, I mean, don't look at 10 or 15% and say, well, I'm at 14.9%, I'm fine. Well, no, you should strive to be able to increase sales so that that rent percentage increases. And what that means is that you typically have signed for a yearly, incremental yearly lease that culminates in a 5-year contract or a 5-year lease period. So let's say you're paying $2,200 a month rent right now. That $2,200 is a static figure or a fixed figure, at least for the next 12 months. So as your sales increase, but your rent stays the same every month, the percentage of your rent versus your sales should drop. Your sales increase, your rent percentage stays, your rent number stays the same, so your percentage will drop. And it's important to do that. It's important to know the math on that, because really what should be happening in your promotional activities, in your marketing activities, and in your general business acumen is that you should be striving for an incremental increase over a period of time so that your rent percentage comes lower and lower and lower. And it's also important to know this percentage if you're getting into the business, because there's not a lot of revenue projection or revenue goals that you can do that will basically justify suggesting to a bank or a lending facility, well, this is what I think I'm going to get. But your rent percentage is one of them that you actually can lock in. So if you're looking at a sales goal or what you should be getting sales at a particular location, you can simply say, well, at this particular location, they want $2,000 a month. If my rent needs to be between 10 and 15% of my gross sales, I should be striving for $18,000 to $20,000 a month in sales. So you see what I'm saying? I'm working that backwards. I know what my rent is at a particular location. I can project that forward and say, well, if my percentage needs to be 10, 15%, this is what my gross revenue should be, or at least flatlining should be. It's important for you to know on a number of different levels. If you're a store owner, you should be looking at rising those or increasing those sales so that your percentage goes down. And if you are getting into the business, you need to know what that static rental monthly figure is so you can project pretty well what you need to do in sales. And only you will really know what a good deal is on a particular rental property. I had a gentleman come to me and say, look, $5,000 is what I'm looking at signing this lease. Is that a lot of money per month to pay? Well, it sounds like a lot of money to me, was my response. I don't know the neighborhood, I don't know the street, I don't know kind of, the demographics of the area. But one thing I do know is that your rent needs to be between 10 and 15% of your gross sales. So if you are paying $5,000 a month rent, you need to be selling $45,000 to $50,000 a month of waffle cones, cakes, pies, motor vehicle parts, camera equipment, anything you need to sell in order to make that $50,000, $45,000 to $50,000 mark. So again, they're numbers that you should know, and you should be looking at that at a year's end and say, where's my rent percentage sitting? Because again, as your sales go up, that rent percentage should come down. Simple math, maybe not so simple math, I don't know. Anyway, we do want to thank our episode sponsor. Thank you very much to all of the people who make these videos available to you and for me to film them. Any questions, comments, concerns, hey, drop us a line. We love to hear from our viewers. Steve@scoopschool.com. Keep on scooping. We'll see you in the next video.